Okay, this is Mr. T, and I want to go over a couple of things that we've had a considerable problem in class with. We shouldn't, but we do. So, when we want to do long division, whether we have a single or a two-digit divisor, the one thing that we have to have is we have to know our multiplication tables. And one of the ways that we can do this is division is kind of the opposite. So, what we have to do is we really need to skip count 9 so we have an idea of what we're working on, because we want to know how many times does 9 go into 24 without going over. So if I do 9s and then I do 2, which is 18, 3 times 9 is 27, 4 times 9 is 36, 5 times 9 is 45, 6 times 9 is 54, 7 times 9 is 63, 8 times 9 is 72, 9 times 9 is 81, and of course 10 times that's going to be 90. So once I know what all my multiples are, it makes it a little bit easier for me to do the long division. So if I look at 9, how many times does 9 go into 24? Well, it has to be more than 9, it has to be more than 18, but the next multiple is 27, which is too big, so I'm going to go back 1, and 2 times 9 is 18, and now I'm just doing basic subtraction, and 24 minus 18 is 6, and then I'm going to bring down my 7. Now I have to ask myself, 9 goes into 67 how many times without going over? And of course that's going to be 63, because 8 times 9 is 72, which is too much. So if I go back, 7 times 9 is 63. I'm subtracting again. 63 from 67 is 4. I bring down my 6. Then I'm going to go back and ask, well, how many times does 9 go into 46? Well, I go back and 45 is just under it. So 9 times 5 is 45. Subtracting again, and that's going to give me a remainder of 1. So let's erase that one now that we've done that. And this is basically nothing more than the kids learning the skip count chart for doing their math work. So let's assume we have one now that's got a double digit divisor, which is going to be 11 divided into 23,247. And so the first thing I've asked them to do is to skip count 11 so we can figure this out. So if I have 1 times 11 is equal to 11, 2 times 11 is 22, 3 times 11 is 33, 4 times 11 is 44, 5 times 11 is 55, 6 is 66, 7 times 11 is 77, 8 times 11 is 88, these are pretty easy, 9 times 11 is 99, and 10 times 11 is 110. Now we can go back and look at our skip count chart and figure out what we need to do. Well, 11 will go into 23 2 times based on my 22. I subtract 23 from 22 and I get 1. I bring down my 12. 11 will go into 12 1 time. 1 times 11 is 11. I subtract. 12 minus 11 is 1. I bring down my 4. That's going to leave me 14. 11 goes into 14 only 1 time. 14 minus 11 is 3. I bring down my 7. And now I have to figure out how many times does 11 go into 37. Well, if I go to 4, 44 is more than 37, so I have to go back 1. That's going to be 3. 3 times 11 is 33. I subtract it. That's going to leave me with a remainder of 4. 2,113 with the remainder of 4. Again, using the skip count chart, if I don't know my multiples good enough, then I should create a skip count chart for every one of these that I do. We'll do one more of the double-digit divisor ones. Number 4 on our sheet the kids are to work on tonight is 12 divided into 12 is a divisor, 37,296. Excuse me. Now I'm just going to skip count my 12s. That's 12. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 12 is 48. 5 times 12 is 60. You'll also notice that I'm just adding 12 to the previous number that I've got. If that works out easier for them, that's perfectly fine. 6 times 12 is 72. 7 times 12 is 84. 8 times 12 is 96. 9 times 12 is 108. And 10 times 12 is 120. 108 plus 12 is 120. Excuse me. Now I can go ahead and I've got my skip count chart and I can work it. So 12 goes into 37. Well, I can't use 48 because that's too big, but I can use 36. So that's going to be 3. 3 times 12 is 36. I'm subtracting 36 minus from 37 is 1. I bring down my 2. 12 goes into 12 one time. That's an easy subtraction. Then I bring down my 9. And here's where the kids may have to be a little bit careful. 12 cannot go into 9. So I'm going to put a 0 up there above my 9. And I bring down my 6. Then I have to ask myself, what times 12 will give me 96? And if I go back to my chart, that would be 8. And that's going to give me 96. And that's going to give me a remainder of 0 on that one. So I hope going over some of these will give the kids a little bit better idea. But I certainly urge them, even if they're doing single digits, make yourself a skip count chart so that you can look quickly over and see how many times your divisor is going to go into a very, very large number.